Hey everyone, welcome back to Stocky Talky. Gonna do a quick dive into Tesla, kind of go over the purchases I made recently. And before I do that, please like and subscribe to the channel, baby. I'm on the road to 1,000. Show some love. Let's go. All right, so yeah, looking at Tesla's one day. Well, today the action. You can see we started up around 934.81 US, and then we kind of sold off to 907. Now I'll point out why this price range is kind of important when we get into the long range or my more technical chart. But then you can see we kind of bounced around from like 940 down to 923, and it's just it was up and down. Obviously, we had that huge run up yesterday, right? The day before. So today, I kind of assumed would be either a little bit of a sell off or in the middle kind of day, just because we had that huge gap up yesterday, right? So as you can see, market, it was more green than red, so that was kind of nice. Obviously, Google just had their earnings, and what I'm seeing is they beat pretty handily. So before I go over there, you can see this TESLA stock I bought. It's doing pretty well over the past 5 days. Look at that. I bought it around here, right? And I'm already up, I think, like 20%. So that's doing pretty well. I'll get into that in a bit as well. But for now, let's talk about Tesla's chart here. So you can see this support line here, right? This old trend line that's good since March of 2020 has acted like a very nice support for us here. Now, is this the end of the market correction we were in? If I were to put my money on it, I would say I'm 75% sure yes and 25% sure no. Now, obviously, I'm saying that because it's like nobody can predict the market, and if anyone thinks they can, they're insane. So, but I do like the fact that we are kind of finding a nice consolidation point, right? So you can see we've consolidated here. Now we are bouncing up. Could we come back down, like to this support or resistance or support level here? Yeah, and then continue up. But if you look over time, anytime we have a big, quick sell-off like this, it's usually a V-shape recovery, right? Like, look here, V-shape, V-shape. This was the one where we kind of didn't have a V. It was like a W. But you see what I mean, right? Most of the time, it's a pretty quick V-shape, and then we get that run. But you can see here, V-shape as well. And I think one of the most prevalent ones was the COVID crash right here. Yeah, this was a V shape as well. It's a little bit of like a slanted V, but you get what I'm saying, right? So now that the market as a whole, in my opinion, 75% chance I'm right, but I could be wrong. So don't take my word as gospel, like I say all the time. When I saw Tesla going below 900 and I bought at 855, in my opinion, that at a certain level, I think it got down to like $7.99. So I want to say congratulations to any of you who bought that. But at a certain level, there's just like absurdly low valuations at that point. And you'd almost be, if you don't have cash lying around, I understand it. But if you don't buy those dips, you're going to regret it in 5 years' times, right? So if you come here, look at this. ARK Invest, bull case, $4,000 by 2025. So if you're buying it at $7.99, think about that over what is it? It's 2022 right now. Think about that. In 3 years, you'll almost 3.5x if my math's right? So that's their bull case. Even a $3,000 rip is beautiful, right? So now this just doesn't even seem reasonable. Now that I think that's if they don't get autonomous driving, which I mean, I think they will, but that's up for debate apparently with what the bears say. So yeah, going back to this, what I was saying was the reason why that kind of 907 region now is so important, that 900 to like 920 range. If I zoom in, you can see here, look at all the action around this golden pocket here, right? This is such an important part of Tesla's chart now. And you can see last time we got here, we bounced off it pretty quick. We broke pretty heavily down through, but that was because of extreme market weakness, right? So now we have found a nice little area of support, in my opinion. I think we're going to consistently bounce off this. Now there is a big gap up here. which I didn't really like. I like when Tesla kind of steady grows, because now I think like there is a chance we could fill that gap and go down to like 850 again, but hopefully that doesn't happen. Now, I've said before, gaps are not always filled, so keep that in mind. But there is always the possibility that it is filled. And as you can see, the RSI bounced really nicely off of that like 31, almost way oversold level. And you can see the last time we kind of got down there was around, let me just find it, right here, right? And that's when we started our next big upward trend, got that huge pop. So what I said before was I could almost see the same thing that played out here kind of playing out again. We wait for that next catalyst, and we kind of trade like this and then pop up like that, and we create something that looks like this, and then we go and test that $1,600 level, right? I'm not saying that's 100% a guarantee, but that's what it possibly could look like in my mind. And I was saying by like midsummer, if we don't have any market crashes, and I'm not saying there's gonna be market crashes either. I'm just saying there's a lot of people who are spooked out there. But the one thing we do need, in my opinion, after listening to the king himself, Greg Manarino, is we do need the Fed to take action, and we need an interest rate hike. The market's pricing in it. We need it to, and we need that to happen in March. That's when I think we're going to rally in the market until March, and then we see what they say. Yeah, so it is nice to see the market kind of having a nice recovery right now. And I'll bring up something I just created recently, portfolio I've been working on. And you can see my stock portfolio 2022. Now, these investments are all mixed in with my other accounts. So I have two separate accounts. I've just, whatever purchase I've made this year, I've entered them into this. So you can see I'm up $1,141. And some of the, I for the most part, I had only bought Ethereum this year. And I just recently pulled the trigger on TECL and Tesla off the recent dip. So that TECL one's doing pretty nicely. I just re-entered it today after the upward movement again. I'm up 22.5% pretty much after like 2 or 3 days of owning that one. And my most recent Tesla shares are up 8.9%. But you can see these Ethereums weighing down the 2022 portfolio. But overall, it's been a nice green year. So if we can keep the run going, that would just be beautiful. And I'll keep updating that. And I actually saw StockMo doing something like this. Also, ARK Invest bought a lot more Tesla, which who knows? Maybe a lot of people were buying Tesla on that dip. That dip was just like nuts. What are they? The 200 moving day average, or the 200-day moving average, really shot that back up. You see, so we're still trading under that 20-day. I would like for Tesla to, I don't know, just like steadily grow for a bit, regain its legs, and if it does continue dipping, I will buy more. Luckily, I have some cash on the sideline now, so I'm considering buying more Tesla and maybe some more TECL, depending on what happens now. But also, I'm really keeping my ear to the ground, listening to Greg Manarino about what he sees in the market. He's very important to listen to. The guy gets it. So, yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with Tesla and what's kind of been happening in the market. And my end-of-year case for Tesla, like excluding a big crash, is 1,600, bull 2,000. And remember, guys, whenever everyone's getting nervous in the stock market, just remember, those are buying opportunities. That separates the men from the boys. When you can pull the trigger when the stock's down 30%, 40%, and then you continue buying all the way down the dip, like that's when you make the life-changing money, when you buy things on massive sales. Obviously, you have to have extreme conviction in the company you're buying in. Like Tesla, for example, autonomous driving, robots that are going to be in everyone's homes, changing the way civilization works, redesigning the world's power grids and sustainable energy. Like when I have the type of conviction I have in Tesla, I'm totally confident in buying on big dips, and I showed you guys last video. I'm all about it. So let's make those fat stacks, guys. And I'm sorry if this video was a bit all over the place. Took a few days off, but yeah, I'll try to get back on the old horse here and put one of these out every day. All right, see you guys. Bye.